Hey everyone, today we're going to be reading chapter 27 from our book Merci Suarez Changes Gears by Medina. This book is perfect for grade levels 3 through 8 and is a guided reading level of N, and the book falls under the genre of fiction. So just by looking at the book cover, I see a young girl with shorts and a t-shirt riding a bicycle, and I also notice that there's palm trees. So that makes me think that this book probably takes place sometime in the summertime or somewhere where it's warm all the time, like a beach, somewhere like Florida or something like that. And I think this girl looks like she's in middle school or around that age. So I feel like middle schoolers specifically could really enjoy reading this book because a lot of the things that happened to her probably will relate to you guys as well. All right, so let's begin by reading chapter 27. The bass of our radio kept thumping. Every time I closed my eyes, I hear the pounding beat and then the ambulance sirens from far away. I hear the shattered windshield crunching under my sneakers. I smell the burned tires and gasoline. I can see people staring, their mouths hanging open the way Rachel's does. The back end of Mommy's car was crushed into the back seat. At least no one had been sitting back there. Not like the day we had Michael. "You're lucky," one of the nurses said as she picked out glass from my curls in the emergency room. "God was looking out for you today." "But I don't feel lucky, not at all." And as for God, why wasn't he looking out for Lolo? Why did he let him get confused on that median? Why did he put him in so much danger? Why did he nearly kill Rolly and me? Our bedroom feels different tonight. I listen for Rolly's breathing on the other side of the curtain. When we were little, I would crawl into his bed if I was scared. Not now, of course, we're too big. Nothing is the way it used to be. Not with Rolly, not with school, not with Lolo. I slip out of the bed and stand by the window. Lolo and Abuela's house is dark. Then there is no one on the glider. Papi is sleeping in the sewing room over there to make sure Lolo is okay. He and Tia helped him get to bed tonight. Abuela was too upset to do it. Too angry. "Too tired," she said, crying. "Too everything." "Pero como? How could this happen?" she kept asking. It was just a moment. But nobody had an answer, or at least not one that they would say. Not even Lolo himself could explain how he slipped away from her at the drugstore or why. But that's what happened. They had gone to get more bags of Halloween candy because the twins had already eaten all of theirs. Before Abuela even noticed he wasn't beside her, Lolo was walking home. Rolly's bed creaks, and then the curtain slides open. His hair is all points. There is a nasty cut over his eyebrow where he had hit the rear view mirror. "Are you okay?" I asked. He nods as his finger drifts to the stitches over his forehead. "What is wrong with Lolo?" I whispered. "Why is he acting like this?" Rolly looks at me for a long time. Finally, he crosses to his desk and signals for me to sit in the chair. "Come here." He flips on the desk lamp and reaches for his paperweight. It's the model of the brain he got for Christmas a couple years ago. At the time, I told him it was the dumbest gift ever. He insisted that he wanted it. It's life-size, the width of 2 fists, and it comes apart like a 3D puzzle. He pulls it in front of me now, and in the dim light, I see that he's labeled all the parts with long words that jumble in my mouth when I try to say them. "A human brain weighs about 3 pounds, and it has 3 main parts," he whispers. "Rolly." He talks over me, his watery eyes on the model. There are sections that manage how we talk, how we decide, how we remember, all like little departments that make us who we are. He puts it down. "Lolo's brain has gotten sick," he says. "It's shrinking a little every day, and so the parts aren't working well anymore." I stare at him. Shrinking? The thought is eerie. Well, how can we make it better? He looks at me squarely, the lamplight reflected in the lenses of his glasses. "He's not going to get better, Mercy. He's going to get worse." "He can't be right. How do you know that, Rolly?" "Because he has something called Alzheimer's disease," Mercy says. "He's had it for a few years now. But now it's advanced." The word disease hangs between us. It's a word that has bats and beetles all over it. a word that means sickness and worse. Lolo has had a disease for years now, and you didn't tell me? He stares at the brain model, his face bright red. Yes, I push him, but he stands his ground. I shove him again as everything starts to make sense. Lolo's falls, his questions, how he wonders, his confusion, the day he almost hit Abuela. All along, there's been a big secret in the Suarez family, and no one told me. Mercy really begins. Quiet, I say, glaring. Why didn't anyone tell me? I grab the brain model and angrily peel back layer after layer on my own, the complicated names sticking on my tongue as I practice them. Rolly watches as I put it together and peel it apart again and again, stumbling over the words until I can say them all perfectly. We sit together late into the night with that rubber brain, and when I finally start to ask all the questions I can think of, Rolly answers every single one. For once, I don't mind all the details. All right, so that was chapter 27 of our book. And one theme for our book that is really evident in this chapter specifically is that people get sick as they get older, and we have to accept the fact that they are changing and just be there for them, even if we don't fully understand what's going on. Mercy just found out that her grandfather, Lolo, has Alzheimer's disease, and Rolly has to explain to her what's going on with Lolo's brain to where she can understand it. And even though she understands that he's sick and she knows what's wrong with him now, she still has to learn how to adapt and get used to the idea that he's going to be sick. All right, and that's all I have for us today.